Good morning, and welcome to the New York City's hearing from the Subcommittee on Landmarks, Public Sittings, and Dispositions. At this point, I'd like to remind everyone attending to please silence their electronic devices, and at no point is anyone to approach the dais. Chair, we're ready to begin.
Good morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to the meeting of the Subcommittee on Landmarks, Public Sightings, and Dispositions. I am Councilmember Camila Hanks, and I'm the chair of the subcommittee. And today I'm joined by my colleague, Carlina Rivera, Councilmember Rivera. Before we begin today's agenda, I'll remind everyone that this meeting is being held in a hybrid format. For members of the public who wish to testify remotely, we ask that you register online. And you may do so now by visiting www.council.nyc.gov/land-use to sign up, and then sign on to the Zoom and remain signed on until you've testified. For anyone with us today in person wishing to testify, if you've not already done so, please see one of our sergeants to fill out a speaker's card, and we will call your name at the appropriate time. For anyone wishing to submit written testimony on the items being heard today, we ask that you please send it via email to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. Include the land use number and/or the project name in the subject line of your email. Video and audio testimony will not be accepted. I will remind members of the public that this is a government proceeding and decorum shall be observed at all times. And as such, members of the public shall remain silent and until so called to testify. The witness table is reserved by people who wish to testify. No video, recording, or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings such as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the sergeant for inclusion for the hearing record. On today's agenda, we have a hearing on LU item 207, the Landmarks Preservation Commission's proposed designation of Jacob Day residence in Councilmember Rivera's district in Manhattan as a historic landmark. Before I open the hearing, I would like to recognize Councilmember Salam has also joined us. So I will open today's hearing and the Landmarks Preservation Commission's proposed designation of Jacob Day residence in Councilmember Rivera's district in Manhattan as a historic landmark. Councilmember Rivera, you may wish to make your remarks here if you'd like to.
Thank you. Good morning. Today we will be hearing the application submitted by the Landmark Preservation Commission regarding the designation of the Jacob Day residence located at 50 West 13th Street as a historic landmark in Greenwich Village located in the council district I represent. Thank you, Chair Hanks, for the opportunity to deliver brief remarks in support of this application. 50 West 13th Street is a historical and cultural landmark that embodies the spirit of civil rights advocacy, artistic innovation, and architectural heritage. Dating to the mid-19th century, the building was home to Jacob Day, a prominent African-American businessman and civil rights leader, and hosted trailblazers like Sarah Smith Tompkins Garnett, the first African-American woman principal of a New York City public school. It served as a hub for advocacy efforts, including the founding of the Abyssinian Baptist Church and the Equal Suffrage League. In the 20th century, the building became a center for artistic expression, housing the Afro-American Folkloric Troupe and later the 13th Street Repertory Theater, which staged Line, the longest-running off-Broadway show. Its Greek Revival architecture and storied past make it a critical piece of Greenwich Village's history, deserving of preservation for future generations. I strongly encourage my colleagues to support this designation and am grateful to advocates and neighbors for their advocacy and testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I would like to recognize Councilmember Nurse has joined us. Today appearing on this proposal is Margaret Herman, Deputy Director, Research Development, Landmarks Preservation Commission, Stephen Thompson, Landmarks Preservation Commission. You may approach. Those who wish to testify, again, may register online by visiting Council's website at council.nyc.gov/land use. Council, will you please administer the affirmation?
Panelists, would you please raise your right hand and state your names for the record?
Margaret Herman.
Stephen Thompson.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this subcommittee and in answer to all council member questions?
I do.
I do.
Thank you again for the viewing public. If you need accessible version of this presentation, please send an email request to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. Now the applicant team may begin, and I'll ask that you please restate your name and organization for the record.
Good morning, Chair Hanks and subcommittee members. My name is Margaret Herman, Deputy Director of Research at the Landmarks Preservation Commission. Thank you for the opportunity to present our recent designation of the Jacob Day residence located at 50 West 13th Street in Manhattan. Next slide. The former Jacob Day residence at 50 West 13th Street is a rare surviving 3-story Greek Revival-style brick row house built in 1845 for William B. Fash. Jacob Day, a prominent African-American caterer and property owner, purchased the house in 1857 and used it as his residence and place of business until his death in 1884. His heirs continued to own the building until 1896. Day was an advocate for the abolition of slavery prior to the Civil War and later for voting rights and economic opportunities for African Americans in the second half of the 19th century. The Jacob Day residence is a rare extant site that is historically and culturally significant, in particular for its connection to New York City's pre-Civil War and Reconstruction era African American history. At the public hearing on September 10th, 2024, 11 people spoke in favor of designation, including representatives from the New York City Landmarks Conservancy, the Historic Districts Council, the Victorian Society of New York, Village Preservation, and Save Harlem Now, and 4 individuals. No one spoke in opposition. The commission received written testimony in favor of designation from Councilmember Rivera and from a petition containing 105 campaign letters. Next slide. The building is located on West 13th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues, just north of the Greenwich Village Historic District. The landmark site is the tax lot. Next slide. Jacob Day was a significant figure both as an abolitionist and a prominent businessman. Before the Civil War, abolitionism was a dangerous activity for Black individuals, but despite the risks, Day was a member of the National Anti-Slavery Society, a contemporary of other distinguished abolitionists of the day, and a member of Abyssinian Baptist Church on Waverly Place, a strong supporter of abolition and African American civil rights. Day was a successful caterer when this was one of the few profitable business opportunities Black men could pursue. He was a member of the Freedmen's Bank, founded after the Civil War as a means of improving the economic prospects of African Americans, and a member of the Caterers Club, along with other Black entrepreneurs who made names for themselves during that time. Eventually becoming an affluent property owner, Jacob Day was considered part of New York City's Black elite in the 19th century, at a time when African Americans faced substantial barriers to building wealth. At the time of his death in 1884, Day was worth an estimated $200,000, the equivalent of nearly $6 million today. Next slide. There are very few surviving sites in Manhattan associated with the pre-Civil War abolitionist movement. 2 LPC designations with this history include 2 White Street, home of abolitionist Theodore S. Wright, a prominent Black minister, and the Lamartine Place Historic District, known for its association with noted white abolitionists Abby Hopper Gibbons and James Sloan Gibbons. The Jacob Day residence is strongly associated with this history, as well as with the Reconstruction and post-Reconstruction eras after the Civil War. Next slide. The building was built in 1845 and appears on this 1854 map. At this time in the mid-19th century, despite significant discrimination and harsh living conditions, Greenwich Village became home to many Black residents, businesses, schools, churches, and benevolent societies. The area around Minetta Lane and Bleecker Street south of Washington Square became known as Little Africa. Next slide. Census records indicate that Jacob Day rented additional rooms to other African Americans, and according to Board of Education records, prominent educator, abolitionist, and later suffragist Sarah J. Tompkins Garnett resided at 50 West 13th Street from the 1860s to 1874. During the time she lived in the house, Tompkins Garnett was a teacher and later was appointed as one of the first Black female principals within the New York City public school system at Colored School No. 4 in Chelsea, which is a designated New York City landmark. Next slide. After Jacob Day's heirs moved out of the house in 1896, the house had various owners until the 1950s. In 1959, 50 West 13th Street was renovated to create a theater in the basement, a school at the first floor, and apartments above. Among various tenants in the middle of the 20th century, in 1968, the groundbreaking four-member Afro-American folklore troupe had a residency at the theater, performing poetry, folklore, and works by well-known Black writers. From 1972 to 2020, the building was the home of the 13th Street Repertory Company, one of New York's longest-running off-Broadway theaters, founded by Edith O'Hara. Many well-known actors and playwrights honed their craft at the 26-seat basement theater, including Bette Midler, Barry Manilow, Chaz Palminteri, and Richard Dreyfuss. Next slide. The Jacob Day Residence is a rare extant example of a 19th century Greek Revival-style building, and it retains its 19th century form, materials, and facade configuration to the 40-year period of association with Jacob Day and his family. Next slide. Built more than 175 years ago, 50 West 13th is extraordinarily significant for its association with pre- and post-Civil War Black history, and for its connection to the African-American abolitionist and businessman Jacob Day, and to the important Black community in Greenwich Village in the 19th century. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to recognize, is Councilmember Nurse still here? Or did I recognize her already? So I would like to recognize anyone who would like to have any remarks. Any council members, some remarks? Seeing none, sorry, thank you. The applicant panel is now excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Council, are there any members of the public who wish to testify on this item?
Yes, I believe Michael Quinn would like to testify.
As a reminder, if I or other council members have any questions or witnesses, to ask them to remain online. Have a seat. Or to stay seated here at the microphone after their testimony until they are excused. For those participating online, once you have your group and has been excused, for following any questions, participants may continue to view the live stream broadcast from this hearing on the council's website. Members of the public will be given 2 minutes to speak. Please do not begin until the Sergeant at Arms has started the clock. Now we will hear from the first panel.
How you doing? My name's Michael Quinn.
Oh, wait, Michael, put your microphone on.
Red means go.
Can you hear me? All right. Checking. Sibilance. Okay. I want to start by just thanking, my name is Michael Quinn. I want to start by thanking Councilmember Carlina Rivera's office and her staff. I really busted their chops for a long time to get this done. And also, of course, Andrew Berman of Village Preservation, who just tirelessly just fights to keep our cultural history and landmarks here and intact. I have a very close relationship with this building. I actually lived in the building about 30 years ago for about 4 months. I like to talk a little about Edith O'Hara. Edith O'Hara I had a very close relationship with. Edith was the type of person where someone who just arrived from Montana with manure on their boots would ring her doorbell and say, hey, I want to be an actor. And Edith would take care of them and feed them and give them a place to stay and then cast them in a play. The place just meant so much to her and so much to me. I think at the time, back in the 90s, between the two women that had the biggest influence on my life as far as an artist was my acting teacher, Uta Hagen, and Edith O'Hara. She cast me in the lead role in Line. And the playwright, Israel Horovitz, many people know him as Ad Rock's dad from the Beastie Boys, lived around the corner. And he shows up and he's just like, yeah, this is the new cast. And he goes, wait a second. This is a tall Irish Catholic man from Brooklyn. I wrote this play for a short Jewish man for Brooklyn. The first person he cast in that play was Richard Dreyfuss. But it didn't matter to Edith. You know, she believed in diversity. She believed in having people from all backgrounds, and she really, really took care of us. And it really means a lot to me to preserve this structure because, I mean, you may know it as the Jacob Day Residence. I've forever know it as the 13th Street Repertory Company. And that place, even on weekends, they had children's theater. At night, we had Line. You know, and also at the same time, it was just a place that I learned. It's a place where I grew. And I wanted to continue to be a place where people from all around, from different backgrounds, could go and learn and grow. So I'm asking you to please consider landmarking the structure, but also I'd like to it eventually be a place where people could go to learn about culture, where maybe children can continue to visit there as they did years ago, to learn about the history of our city and what went on in that building. So thank you so much for your time. and letting me share a little bit about myself and Edith O'Hara and that the 50 West 13th Street building, which I hope you'll landmark. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I just want to say, Mr. Quinn, that that's like the beauty of this committee, and we love hearing those stories. I'm from Staten Island, and I think every single borough has those stories. And I just really want to thank the Landmarks Preservation Commission to bring forth and to life the stories that many people share. So I appreciate your testimony.
Thank you so much.
Is there any council members with questions for this panel?
I just wanted to thank you, Michael Quinn, for your testimony and your support.
Thanks for your hard work and dedication. Thank you.
We also have some testimony online. If Andrew Berman could unmute.
Can you give me one moment, our person online? I just want to recognize for the record that Councilmember Felice has joined us. Thank you. You may begin online. You can unmute
Great, thank
yourself.
you. Good morning, council members, and thank you for the opportunity to testify. My name is Andrew Berman, and I'm the Executive Director of Village Preservation. In 2020, when it became clear due to the death of longtime 13th Street Repertory owner Edith O'Hara that 50 West 13th Street was endangered, we submitted a request to the Landmarks Preservation Commission with substantial documentation urging them to consider this site for landmark designation. They refused. Over the course of the next 4 years, we continued to submit additional documentation establishing the site's profound significance to abolitionist, civil rights, suffragist, and theater history. We garnered support from some elected officials, scholars of Black history, women's rights advocates, theater lovers, and literally thousands of New Yorkers who wrote to the commission and mayor urging them to move ahead with designation. But they continued to refuse to act even as the condition of the building deteriorated dangerously to the decrepit condition it's in today. Finally, in June of last year, the commission relented and calendared the building. Sadly, that came too late to prevent serious damage to the building taking place and the owner destroying the rare, distinctive 19th century ironwork which had surrounded the doorway for a century and a half. We're glad that the house is now finally landmarked and hopefully the destruction will be stemmed. But it shouldn't take this long or this much effort to get the Landmarks Preservation Commission to recognize and protect a site of such incredible significance to New York history, especially our too often overlooked Black history, women's history, and civil rights history. Unfortunately, this is not an aberration, but a consistent piece of an ongoing pattern. As per our study analyzing all New York City landmark designations, which was submitted to each member of the City Council, under Mayor Adams, the number of landmark designations have dropped dramatically to unprecedented levels as compared to every prior mayor. And that lack of action to protect our city's history, and especially our most endangered and most underrepresented histories, extends to every corner of the city. The outer boroughs and upper Manhattan have, like the Manhattan core in this case, seen a huge decrease in the number of designations taking place since Mayor Adams took office. Right now, we're fighting to landmark the city's first Spanish language church and what would be the city's very first landmark designation honoring the history of people with disabilities, both of which are currently endangered. Under Mayor Adams, the Landmarks Preservation Commission has thus far refused to act on either. We urge the commission to approve this much needed and long overdue designation. But we also urge you to use your power as the body with oversight on the Landmarks Preservation Commission to take a hard look at why so few designations are taking place under this commission and why critical sites like the ones I described are being ignored,
Thank you. Your time
overlooked,
expired.
or slow-walked by the commission. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for this panel? Thank you. You're excused. There being no more questions for this panel, this witness panel is now excused. This is the last call. Are there any further people wishing to testify?
No.
With there being no other members of the public wishing to testify on land use item 207, Jacob Day residence, the public hearing is now closed. Thank you so much for your participation.